It's Jahji.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome. It is your host Jahji here, and we are getting ready to get into another Fallout. Episode 2, Friday Night SmackDown. So strap in your seatbelts and get ready for another exciting episode. And I'll begin with this. It wasn't as exciting as Raw. The WWE is continuing their run of excellence. We'll get into it further with this episode. For now, it's Jahji. Let's get into it. To open up Friday Night SmackDown, we actually have an announcement for an upcoming match for the night. It's announced that with R-Truth being medically uncleared to compete, it'll be Damian Priest against Tama Tonga in a continuation of the Priest-Truth / MFT rivalry. A lot of excitement is built up for the episode, and they move right into the ring with the hometown kid, Trick Williams. He walks in with his lemon pepper steppers and with his manager, Lil Yachty, and let me tell you, that crowd was riled up for Trick Williams. The man at this moment can do nothing wrong. And that goes into one of our last topics in episode 1 with WWE paying attention to what we want. You know, Roman Reigns a couple of months ago, right before WrestleMania, came out and he announced, I was gone for 2 years. I gave you guys 2 years, and in that time, you weren't able to build not one single star. It seems like from that moment out, the WWE took that personally. Not only the WWE, but also the superstars on the roster. The young and up-and-coming superstars, they took that personally, because ever since then, the Obafemis, the Trick Williams, the Ethan Pages, those people have been on a rise, and they've been rising fast. This episode also includes a lot of young up-and-coming superstars in the Trick Williams, but also the Ricky Saints, the Carmelo Anthonys, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get back into the action. Trick Williams is in the ring with his manager, Lil Yachty, and they actually have a segment with The Miz and Kid Williams. Now, after spitting their usual rhetoric, Trick Williams gets into a match against The Miz. And while this doesn't do much in terms of furthering any type of feud, it was great for what it was, which is showcasing the hometown hero, who is also one of the hottest acts in the WWE today. It strengthens his United States Championship run with a win over an established veteran such as The Miz. And while a lot of our conversations have been pertaining to the younger guys in the WWE, man, let's talk about The Miz. In a time where the WWE is in that transition period, a lot of his peers that he came up with are retiring. Edge in October has just announced that Edge is gonna wrestle his final match in Canada. John Cena just retired. AJ Styles, Goldberg, etc. You have The Miz, who seems to be a bit of an outlier. Yeah, he's not competing for WWE championships. Heck, he's not even competing for any mid-tier titles. But week in and week out, he's proven to be an entertaining act. He's proven to be worth it, right for the business. The man is not only showcasing that he brings some type of value to WWE television week in and week out, but he's also building those younger guys. I love what he's doing with Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson has shown over the last few months that he has a lot of potential. I also feel kind of bad for his partner while he's out resting and recovering from injury. Kit Wilson has kind of turned into a star. I'm not saying he's gonna go out and win any WWE championships, but rest assured, I wouldn't be surprised if Kit Wilson ends up winning a United States championship sometime in the next few months. The man definitely has a lot of support behind him right now. With a little help from Lil Yachty, the way the match ends, Trick gets The Miz in a compromising position and hits him with a trick shot for the 1-2-3 pin. Now again, this wasn't anything to further any type of feuds. It was a way of showcasing the hometown hero and one of the hottest acts in the WWE in Trick Williams. Next, we move into yet another hot talent in Carmelo Hayes. He's shown backstage announcing that he wants to compete for the United States Championship again. He's willing, he's ready, and he's able after taking a bit of a hiatus after announcing his marriage. But before he can get that title shot, Ricky Saints comes into the picture, and he essentially announces his run or his bid at the United States Championship. And that's when things get really exciting, because before now, we were talking about all of the young, hot, up-and-coming talent on Monday Night Raw, but SmackDown is clearly showcasing that they have the same potential as well. Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes are two of the hottest acts in the WWE today, and I feel like a feud between the two to then go on and feud with Trick Williams would only go in further establishing the credibility behind all three superstars. This feud has immense potential, and I actually can't wait to see it. I'm hoping we can see some type of payoff between Saints and Hayes for maybe Clash in Italy, and then we'll move into the summer and SummerSlam with Trick Williams and whoever's the winner out of the two. Next on segment SmackDown, we have another segment. Rey Fenix is shown speaking with Nick Aldis. He says he has big things on the way, and I'm assuming that's pertaining to his upcoming appearances on AAA. The SmackDown creative team has shown that they don't have anything for Rey Fenix, which is kind of sad considering one, the push his brother's getting as Intercontinental Champion on Raw, but two, his immense talent as well. I'm not saying you have to catapult him immediately to title contention, but Rey Fenix is somebody who can definitely have top tier matches week in and week out, and I just can't see how creative doesn't have anything for him. I mean, I understand maybe they don't want to push. They feel like maybe Rey Fenix is too alike his brother, but at the end of the day, if the man can go and people are behind him, man, put him out there. He's gonna sell you tickets. He's gonna put butts in seats with his amazing moves, and rest assured, he's going to put the top tier matches week in and week out. Sammy comes into the picture, and he's spitting his usual rhetoric. This kind of ignorant character that Sami Zayn is playing, you gotta do something different, man. Fully lean into the heel act. We've been asking for a heel Sami Zayn for, it feels like years at this point. The man's babyface run is finished, and I feel like the WWE continuing to have him teeter this heel babyface, I'm kind of crazy and delusional character, it's only going towards furthering our genuine dislike for Sami Zayn. At this point, it's not about his in-ring. We know that the man can wrestle, but his character is becoming borderline unbearable. He's somebody who he comes on the camera and I almost feel the urge to change the channel. I don't find a need to have Sami Zayn wrestling with himself. Have him haluva kick Lil Yachty, have him haluva kick Trick Williams, and fully commit into that bad guy role. That's what we're looking for and yearning for from Sami Zayn. Almost like Gunther, which we'll get into further down in the episode, but Gunther's really starting to lean into a particular type of characteristic, and I'm really loving it right now. Back to Sami Zayn, Rey Fenix comes back into the camera and he's shown comforting Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is spitting again delusional rhetoric. My ride or die friend. Everybody's behind me to get another US title shot. And Rey Fenix is the one almost speaking for us. He's telling him, you're not the same guy. What is wrong with you? And WWE Creative continues to lean into that annoying, that unbearable, delusional Sami Zayn where he thinks that he deserves, he earned another US title shot. Well, my friend, I'm here to tell you, you have not. Matter of fact, I think you belong all the way in the back of the line, and men like Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes are the guys who should be getting the camera time, which I'm glad that they are. One more segment on Friday Night SmackDown because why not, right? Paige and Brie are then shown backstage with Lash Legend and Nia Jax, and it's seemingly announced that they're gonna have a women's tag team title match between Brie and Paige and Lash Legend and Nia Jax. This is gonna be an exciting match for Saturday night's main event. However, again, this is something that could have been done anywhere else after 3 other segments. The WWE is really pushing it with turning their show into almost a soap opera, and while I consider myself more of a fan of the storylines, I also don't want to see wasted airspace. I would love to see a continued build for these storylines. Brie and Paige then walk into the ring for a match against Julia and Kiana James. Now, this wasn't a match to push anything that Brie and Paige were doing. This was more so a match to further the breakup between Julia and Kiana James. And although I feel like the SmackDown women's tag team roster is running kind of thin at the moment, with the introduction of Fatal Influence, now would be a time to break up a tag team and build 2 individual careers rather than trying to build almost a stale act. Kiana and Julia each have immense potential, but I feel like they each share different lanes. I never understood their tag team. Now, I'm also not an avid follower of NXT, so I'm not sure if they were an established tag team down there. However, on SmackDown, they've proven that they're kind of an awkward fit. Those two deserve to be seen as solo acts. Kiana James can fit that kind of Tiffany mold of that arrogant, popular girl. And Julia has shown that she almost fits that Io Sky type of high-flying, high-energy role. She just needs to be allowed to show that personality side of her. That side that'll allow the WWE Universe to fall in love with her. Because if I recall, Julia had a lot of potential and a lot of hype coming up from NXT. Although this match was to set up the Julia and Kiana James feud, I think there's something to pay attention to with this Brie and Paige partnership. It's not about them defending the tag team titles. It's more so about what will happen when Nikki Bella comes back. If they want to continue to build Nikki's return, Brie's return, and more importantly, Paige's return, having Nikki come back and play a jealous sister role is going to be key in that breakup and allowing us to become interested in that storyline. Nikki comes back and she says, you know what, Paige, thank you so much for holding it down while I was gone, but I'll take it from here. I came back to win and defend that championship with my sister, and you're kind of taking our shine. And that's where a mini feud between Nikki and Paige will commence. Now, I'm not saying they're going to have 5-star matches. That's not what that's for. This is more so to continue to build on the comeback of the three, in particular, Paige. Paige has immense potential, but she's more so on the CM Punk side, where for the first year of his return, the WWE had to kind of remind the WWE universe of CM Punk's greatness. Not the older crowd, but more so the new people who have come in, the young kids who have just started watching in 2020, the people who weren't exposed to CM Punk, who weren't exposed to Paige in the early 2010s. Those people have to be reminded of their greatness. And I feel like a feud between Nikki Bella and Paige would go a long way towards establishing Paige's comeback. To end that match, Paige hits the Rampage 1, 2, 3 win, and we already got into it about what that match brought to SmackDown. Next, we have a little bit of a segment between Chelsea and Tiffany. Chelsea's being interviewed by Kathy Kelly, and she's stating she works better alone. I'm assuming that WWE did this to kind of address Alba Fire being released without addressing it. But then in the background comes Tiffany, and Chelsea changes her rhetoric completely. She says how she's excited to be tag teaming with her, and I love this. This was kind of like a battle between two popular girls. Tiffany comes from the background and she states, I don't want to be your partner. And Chelsea's just kind of left like, I didn't think that she heard that. You know, so for something very small, I think it was interesting. And maybe once Chelsea's cleared to fight again, that's going to be an interesting feud to build into. Or maybe a partnership. Who knows with WWE Creative nowadays. Next, we're building into one of the key segments of the night. Gunther and Cody Rhodes and their contract signing. Cody comes out. What do you want to talk about? We know Cody's rhetoric. Cody's in the ring spitting his usual stick, and Gunther comes out and he kind of keeps teasing, I'm going to sign the contract. Oh, I'm not. Oh, I'm gonna sign it. And in the midst of him playing those games, Royce Keys comes out and he attacks Gunther. Completely unexpected. He walks to the ring, picks up the pen, and just as he's about to sign the contract, Gunther comes in and tries to wrestle the pen away. Nick Aldis then comes into the ramp and he announces, Gunther, I'm tired with your games. Now, if you want to keep playing this back and forth, I'll give you a back and forth. Tonight, you're gonna put that #1 contendership on the line against Royce Keys. And let me tell you something. This is amazing, not just for Gunther, but for Royce Keys as well. With the move to SmackDown, Gunther's getting almost a new life. He needed to be moved away from that Legend Killer 2.0 persona. He needed something fresh, and I feel like a move to SmackDown was the only way, and the best way, realistically, to do that. You insert him into the world title picture immediately, but you also give him a future feud, or another immediate feud with Royce Keys, and it's something new, it's something fresh. And I'm also not sure if you guys noticed this, but Gunther kind of leaned into that anti-American gimmick when he was like, typical American of you, Cody, to make this about you. And although we're not here for that racist rhetoric, that prejudice rhetoric, when it comes to kayfabe, we haven't seen this in a long time. I love this. If anything, I want Gunther to lean into it more because it's going to make us forget about that Legend Killer persona, and it's going to make us hate him, and hate him because he's good at his job, hate him because he's such a great villain. And that anti-hero, anti-American way, I feel like is a cheap way, but a great way to do that. And remind us how great Gunther is at his job. And not when the WWE creative is just trying to force us to think he's dominant, when he can just do that on his own. Royce Keys, on the other hand, is being shown as a credible opponent week in and week out. I'm excited to see where creative is going to take him. And I also love how they're not completely ignoring Keys' past relationships. Cody clearly acknowledges, you deserve it. You deserve to be be here. And that's why he's here for Royce Keys when he comes out and he's about to put pen to paper to face Cody Rhodes at Clash in Italy. So I feel like the WWE isn't ignoring Royce Keys. They're just kind of trying to figure out where he fits in the WWE. And when they do, best believe they have big things for Royce Powerhouse Keys. Next, we have our 200th segment of the night, and this time we have Solo Sikoa shown speaking to Tama Tonga. Now he tells Tama, listen, our truth isn't medically cleared to compete tonight, so you're gonna do what's best for MFT and you're gonna take Damian Priest out. Finish the job, no ifs, ands, or buts. And that wasn't the key part about this segment. The key part about this segment was after Solo and Tala left the camera, Shinsuke comes in the background. And I love this almost devil's advocate role that Shinsuke Nakamura has been portraying. The only thing is, will the WWE finally pull the trigger? On multiple episodes of SmackDown, Shinsuke's been shown speaking to Tama, telling him, you deserve a lot more than this. You are a lot more than this. When are you gonna stray away from your family? I know they are your family, but at the end of the day, they're not doing anything for good and they're only holding you back. Now this is playing back into Shinsuke and Tama's feuds in other wrestling promotions, and I'm all here for it. However, the WWE needs to finally pull the trigger. Shinsuke's been a guy who's just been a back scene character for months now, close to years at this point. They have a great role that will grow on a lot of people if it hasn't already, and I feel like they need to at least give Shinsuke one more run. The man hasn't had a dominant run in I don't know how many years. He's an incredible wrestler, and I feel like he's an incredible performer in terms of promos. He just needs to be given that opportunity, and a feud with Tama Tonga is going to do just that. Will the WWE pull the trigger? Now that wasn't the end of the segment. Solo Sikoa must have noticed that Shinsuke Nakamura was speaking to Tama again, because him and Tala came into the camera and ambushed Shinsuke one more time. Now I thought that they brutalized him to the point where he wasn't even moving. Now I thought that this would play into something bigger later on in the show, but you would see that once again, this is WWE being scared or failing to pull the trigger on Shinsuke Nakamura and his devil advocate role. Next, we finally get to another in-ring match between Carmelo Hayes and Ricky Saints, and this was an exciting one. It was another match that it wasn't really pushing a feud. However, it was great for what it was, which was showcasing young talent with immense potential. It was a big back and forth between Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes before Melo ultimately, with a little bit of help from the ring rope, took the win against Ricky Saints. Now, it doesn't matter who you wanted to win in this match, Ricky Saints or Carmelo Hayes. Nobody came out looking like a loser at the end of the day. What this match does is establish a potential feud between the two for the #1 contendership at the United States Championship. This is going to give the WWE Universe a look into Ricky Saints and Carmelo Hayes in the immediate future, and then it's going to build potentially an even bigger feud, most likely between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, just because of their past in the NXT. But it's also telling the WWE Universe, hey, don't forget about Ricky Saints. This guy can easily take down Trick Williams, and he can easily put together a 5-star match with this man as well. So this is something that going into the summer, it's going to be very interesting to look into. The trio feud between Trick Williams, Ricky Saints, and Carmelo Hayes. Get ready, because you guessed it, another 2 segments. Now first it's showing Truth and Keys speaking to each other, and as Keys leaves the scene, Damian Priest is shown walking in. And while Truth clearly has a partnership or some type of relationship with Royce Keys, Damian Priest clearly doesn't. Priest is shown saying, I don't trust Royce Keys. You may trust him, you may have a past with him, but there's something off about that guy. And I'm not sure if this was something that's going to potentially build towards a future feud between Royce Keys and Damian Priest, but we'll get into that in a few moments. Before we do, Danhausen is shown in the Danhausen laboratory, and I understand some people may be getting bored of this shtick already. I love what the WWE is doing. It's 2 minutes on a 3-hour show. Who gives a damn? Danhausen is shown in his laboratory, and he's trying to create the opposite of a mini housing. So now it's a giant housing. So now that has me wondering, and let me know if you have any answers below. Who's going to be the giant housing? What's his next appearance gonna be? I know the mini housing was El Toro. It was his first appearance in like 7 or 8 years. So I wonder who the WWE is gonna bring back as giant housing. I've been hearing and I've been reading about it possibly being Omos, and while that would be great to see in the moment, I feel like Omos is one of those guys that you continue to build in AAA, and when he's seasoned enough, you bring him back as the lethal giant. I don't think he should be brought back just for a comedy act. However, Danhausen has proven that he's able to turn poop into gold, so maybe he brings Omos in, and the this is a great one-off, and he can go back to AAA, do his thing, build himself up into a legit monster. We then get into Tama Tonga versus Damian Priest. This was probably the most boring match of the night. It didn't further any type of feud. If anything, the way the match ended was very anticlimactic. This should have been the exact moment where Shinsuke came out, seeked his revenge on Tala and Solo, and came out as the official devil's advocate for Tama. I want to see that character build in Tama Tonga. I want to see his confusion, I want to see Tama Tonga be torn between MFT and Shinsuke Nakamura. I would love to see a mini partnership between the two and then a feud. However, the WWE clearly showed that they're not going for that. Whatever they're planning on doing with this MFT and R-Truth and Damian Priest feud ended already. I'm not here for it. You're not here for it. And the rest of the WWE universe isn't here for it. Damian Priest and R-Truth could be off doing something a lot more productive. They may not be the most serious of champions, but there has to be another feud out there that's better fitting of their time and makes more sense than just feuding with MFT. Now, if you add Shinsuke to that story, we may be speaking a different rhetoric. The end of the actual match is a South of Heaven chokeslam on Tama Tonga before a 1-2-3 pinfall and win by Damian Priest. He's then attacked by Tama Tonga, which one more time left myself, and I'm pretty sure yourself, thinking, what are they doing with this story? Jade then comes out to cut a promo on herself and her upcoming match at Clash in Italy. However, she's interrupted by Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, building what seems to be a bubbling feud between the two, and I am all here for it. Although it's come at the cost of Alexa Bliss and any type of momentum she had when she returned, I'm all here for a Charlotte Flair babyface run. Between the partnership, the Charlotte Flair woo in the hometown crowd, and this segment, I can't wait till the WWE finally pulls the trigger on a Charlotte Flair and Jade feud. Not because I want to see Jade win or Jade be built, but because I want to see what Charlotte would do as a true babyface with the people behind her. Will she capitalize, or will she just go back to her ways, WWE creative forcing her down our throats, and everybody just ending up disappointed, and Charlotte just being another case of nepotism? She's worked hard for years, she's a legend, she's built her career clearly apart from her father. However, at the end of the day, we cannot discredit the fact that a lot of her success is straight nepotism, is due to her father being Ric Flair. And until the WWE universe finally has that change of heart and has that moment where they're behind Charlotte, I feel like this will always be the case. Charlotte and Alexa have an impromptu match with the baddies, and this was an average match. It was another bad match. So I actually take back my comment about Tama versus Priest being the worst match of the night. This match was easily the worst one of the night. It didn't build anything other than the face down and bubbling feud between Jade and Charlotte, which I'm all here for. Although we've been tired of the segments, Fatal Influence is cut into this scene, and they're pretty much establishing they're here, establishing that they are here to dominate and win all of the gold on the women's roster. So maybe this is them kind of putting it out there that they're coming for Brie and Paige, and this is probably WWE's way of foreshadowing that Fatal Influence are the next women's tag teams champion. I love this for the up and comers, I love this for the WWE creative, and I love this for us. So I have nothing bad to say about this. Before the main event, we get into one more segment, and this is between Solo Sikoa and Royce Keys. Now, during this segment, a light bulb came on in my head. Over the past 3 or 4 weeks, Royce Keys has been shown in 2 to 3 segments per SmackDown. With the way that they built him on tonight's episode, they have him involved with the MFTs, but at the same time, they have him fighting for the #1 contendership for the WWE Championship. I feel like this is WWE's way of testing the waters, seeing where they want to work Royce Keys. On one end, they're testing out Royce Keys as a mid-card guy in his feuding with MFTs, in his involvement with R-Truth and Damian Priest. But on the other hand, they're also keeping it open that they want to build this guy as a massive star on SmackDown and allowing him to simply fight for the #1 contendership. We kind of knew he wasn't going to win tonight just because it was established already that this was Gunther's favor and this was where Gunther wanted to go. I feel like this was the WWE keeping their options open and just kind of testing the waters. Is the WWE universe behind him? Is he able to put captivating enough matches with top tier talent? This was them finding out. And funny enough, I feel mixed about it. On one hand, he's a menacing, strong looking wrestler who looks like a WWE champion, who looks like WWE champion material. However, something about his promos, I don't know, it's just something about Royce Keys just gives me B+ player / I can compete for WWE championships, maybe luckily win one in the future, but I'm not a key cog of the main event scene. Now you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Again, I see the potential. I just may not think that his potential is A+ player. I don't think that he's a guy who SmackDown is going to build around for years to come. He's going to be a key cog, but he's not going to be the key figure. Royce Keys versus Gunther was exactly what you thought it would be. A great fight. Keys gets a good look, Gunther gets to further himself from the atrocity that was the Legend Killer storyline, and SmackDown gets to further their world title scene. The way the match ends is Solo comes in for a distraction, Gunther hits a powerbomb, which was very surprising. Gunther's a big guy, but Royce is an even bigger guy, so I just didn't have in my head that he would powerbomb Royce Keys. I kind of more so thought that the match would end in a sleeper hold. However, Gunther takes the win and nobody comes out looking bad. Keys gets a #1 contendership look. He gets that kind of feel for the main event scene, and Gunther goes on to fight Cody Rhodes at Clash of Champions. I think that this is going to be a great match, and Cody, he may even be set up to lose his WWE championship against Gunther. The WWE is behind him. They need to give him one more push and further him away from the retirement scene. And I feel like putting the championship around his waist would go for doing exactly that. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys. It's Jahji here. Do you think Gunther's world championship material or world championship bound? Today was a decent episode. I don't think it was better than Monday Night Raw, but it clearly showed that the WWE is head on pushing their up and coming talent from NXT. Tonight it was Trick Williams, Ricky Saints, Carmelo Hayes, Fatal Influence, Lash Legend, and there's plenty more of up and coming NXT superstars that the WWE is going to be pushing over the next few months that I feel like are going to be the key cogs for the entire universe when it comes to 2026 and beyond. Guys, please let me know what I missed, what I didn't, what you liked, what you didn't, and comment down below for an active conversation. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you hit that notification bell, and you share with a friend and have that friend share with a friend. Once again, I'm Jahji here. Stay tuned for the next Fallout episode. Thank you for your time. Jahji, out.
Thanks for watching. Let me know what you'd like to watch next.